Good morning, it is yallfest day 2. The plan for today is to see Alex London, Veronica Roth, and David Levithan, and currently my friend is going to stand in line for Veronica Roth for me. It is, what time is it? I don't remember what time it is. It's like 9 something. And I am currently in line for Alex London, and I am actually the first in line, so that works out very well. I was nervous because I didn't know how popular he'd be, but apparently I'm okay because I'm first in line, which is cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna stand here for a bit. Hi, I'm in the Veronica Roth line right now. I just got back from Alex London, and Alex London was so nice. He was so sweet. I got to be first in his line. Not that many people showed up. There were only like 6 people in his line, which is really weird because his books are like amazing. But anyway, I went up and first of all, left my hair as usual. He said that he actually wanted to dye his hair about this color, but decided against it because he's just at home all the time with his new baby. And so he was like, I'd feel kind of lame just laying around at home in my pajamas all the time with, you know, dyed blue hair and a baby. And I was like, hey, she might like the bright colors. And he was like, yeah, she absolutely loves bright colors. I told him about how much I loved his books, how they are literally like some of my favorite books ever, Guardian and Proxy. And I haven't heard his new one yet, but I absolutely can't wait to read it, and I love the books he's already written, and he told me that he learned a lot from writing the first 2 books, and since I love them, I would love his new book because he learned so much from them and he put what he learned about them into this new book, so I'm so excited to read it. And he actually drew a little bird in black green speeding, which I love, and also gave me this pin, which is really, really cool. It just says Rise Together, but I love it. But he was so nice, and he said that apparently Sci-Fi has the rights to make Proxy and Guardian into a show. So, yeah, he said he was kind of nervous about it because he was worried that they would straight wash it since Sid is gay, but it's not like a pivotal point in the book, so he was worried about that. But Sci-Fi apparently told him that they wanted some queer representation, so who knows, maybe that'll go well. But he was super nice. It was nice to talk to him. As he was drawing the little bird in my book, actually, one of the yallfest volunteers that was next to him was like, can you give us a fact about birds? And he was like, I don't know any off the top of my head. And he was like, but I do know that a group of crows is called a murder of crows. So yeah, it was good. I think that was definitely like my favorite author to meet so far. Like, Victoria Aveyard is great and so sweet, but that was so great too. I just love Alex. He's so nice and so cool. That was amazing. That was great. I'm glad I actually got to talk to him a little bit. So that was very nice. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy. He was the author I was most excited to see, and like one of the biggest reasons that I came this year. So I am happy. I'm very happy. Oh, he's so nice. You should read his books if you haven't, and if you have the chance to meet him, you should meet him because he's just super friendly and super nice. That's all. I'm in the Veronica line right now, and Ashley went to go get food. She will be back shortly, but she's going to help me get books signed. Well, she's going to help get books signed for our friend Sarah because she has 2 books from Veronica Roth, and then I have my 3, and there's like a 3-book limit, so, and I don't know how lenient Veronica Roth is with the 3-book rule because some authors don't care. Like yesterday, Jenny Han signed literally 10 books for one person. I know yallfest usually enforces the 3-book rule more, but some authors like are very strict about it. Like Cassandra Clare is a good example, but I don't know. We'll see. I've never met Veronica Roth before, and I haven't talked to anyone who has met her. So that will be interesting. But I have the 3 Divergent books for her, and that's pretty much it.
So I was going to tell you, is that
we had a 6-hour drive. So we stopped in Charlotte last night, Thursday night to lunch.
I just met David Levithan for a second time. I went to Veronica Roth's meet and greet. She was very nice. Didn't entirely know what to say to her because I read Divergent like 3 or 4 years ago, so I didn't entirely know what to say to her, but she was very nice and very friendly. Got all 3 of them signed. I actually painted from it because There were 3 Divergent books, but one of the volunteers said that there was a 2-book limit for Veronica Roth, so I panicked for a minute and then made friends with someone in line who only brought Divergent. So they very kindly helped me get the last Divergent book signed in the series, so I got all 3 of them signed. But yeah, Veronica Roth was really nice, just didn't know what to say to her. Then after that, Ashley and I came back to the courtyard for David Levithan's signing, which is over now. She's waiting in line for a friend to help her get books signed, but I'm sitting here by myself eating, pretty much. But yeah, David Levithan was nice. It's always nice meeting him. He's a very nice guy. We are going to go to Alex London's panel at 4 because I want to follow him everywhere. And then after that, David Levithan has another Ask Me Anything LGBT panel that we're going to, and then after that is the SmackDown. But we have like, it's 2:30 now. We have like an hour and a half until we have to be anywhere. So I'm sitting here eating, and then Ashley's waiting in line for a friend, pretty much. But yeah, good day. Got everything signed that I wanted to, and it worked out.
Ours is
60 minutes. I want to let everyone introduce themselves, but as they introduce themselves, I feel like at the heart of every book there is like a what if question. So like the what if question for Hazelwood is, what if fairy tale creatures found their way into the real world and tried to kill you? Or, you know, tried to make your life a living hell. So if you guys could introduce yourself and just give me like one of the what if questions at the heart of what the book that you're talking about now. Start with Jimmy.
okay. First, my name is Jimmy Cajolas. My book is called The Good Demon, and my what if question was, what if being demon possessed wasn't so bad?
My name is Alex London, the author of Black Wings Beating, and the what if society was organized around the worship and training of giant killer birds.
How you doing?
LGBTQIA spectrum is a wide and diverse one with much intersectionality with other identities. There is no way for a panel of this many people to encapsulate even the...
And so I'm going to thank our sponsors who helped us pay for it all and make this fantastic celebration of story possible. So special thank you to Underlined and to Epic Reads and Blue Bicycle Books, the amazing bookstore. Shout out to Sandra. Thank you to our sponsor, Let's Talk YA, and to Fierce Reads, and Penguin Teen, and Novel, and CreateSpace Kindle Direct Publishing, and to Goodreads, and to Shadow Mountain Publishing, the Charleston Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Thank you to Riveted, Peak Beyond, I Read YA, HMH Teens, and Penguin Random House Audio. We could not do this event without each of those companies, and they all deserve a great round of applause.
yallfest 2018, thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Hope you guys had the best day ever, the best time ever. And we will see you next year next to the amazing authors. Thank you to Ellie. Thanks to Brendan.
Yallfest 2018 out.
She hates me. Actually, she loves me. Okay, so what you just saw was everything I filmed while at Yallfest this year. I realized it wasn't that much, and I probably could have filmed more while actually meeting the authors, but I will remember that for next year. So there were a few things about Yallfest I wanted to talk about more. Some things that happened. So first of all, I wanted to talk about meeting Jenny Han. Now, while in line, we were told that she had a 3-book limit. And if you saw earlier, you saw where I talked about Veronica Roth's 2-book limit and how I got a friendly stranger to help me out. But I also mentioned that Jenny Han actually signed 10 books for one person. Well, we were told there was a 3-book limit, and instead of risking it, I basically just flipped out and decided not to get my 4th book signed, which was the movie cover for To All the Boys I've Loved Before, because I love this movie cover a lot. Once we were told about the 3-book limit, I was like, okay, I'll get the 3 original covers for To All the Boys I've Loved Before signed, because they're the original covers, so I'll get those signed. Then thankfully, there was a soul who wanted to take this for me to get signed. Now, the reason I bring this up is because if we look in this book, Jenny Han signed my name. Alright, she spelt it like that. Now, if we look in the movie cover, I don't believe that is my name. I think it is the name of the person who got her books signed. So, it's okay. I'm glad it's signed, but it's just kind of funny that the difference between the two. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Jenny Han did not sign my name, which is okay and understandable, but it's just funny to me. Okay, so next, like I talked about, Alex London signed my book. He signed my version of Black Wings Beating, and he drew a little bird. So I'm gonna show you the little bird because it makes me extremely happy. Look at that. Look at that bird. He drew a bird. Look at that bird. I don't know if I explained it well enough in the Veronica Roth line, but literally I talked to Alex London for like maybe a good 8 minutes, maybe 10, and while talking to him, he signed this book. He signed Black Wings Bleeding, and then after he signed it, we were talking, we were chatting, and suddenly he just goes, "Oh, I can draw a bird." So it wasn't even like he had planned to draw a bird, it just randomly came to him, which was absolutely hilarious, and I love it. But yeah, so it wasn't like a, ooh, I draw birds in all these books. It was like a, oh, I'll draw a bird. I can draw a bird. I have the power to draw a bird. I'm gonna draw a bird. So that made me very, very happy. And I may or may not have looked up a bunch of copies of Black Wings Beating signed to see if he drew birds and anyone else's. And haven't found any others, so that makes me happy. It doesn't make me happy to be like, look, I have this and no one else has this. It's literally it just makes me happy that this is literally so personalized that it has a little bird in it. That just makes me extremely happy because it means something when an author actually personalizes a book to that extent, to making each one that unique and that special. It's not to be like, ooh, I have this and you don't. It's literally, it just means that the author literally cares so much about their readers that they go through the effort of trying to make everyone so personal, which I love and I respect. And if I ever write a book, I hope I'm that type of author. So next, I actually wanted to talk about the panels that I went to. I went to 2 panels and then the Smackdown at the end, but the Smackdown is just where all the authors come together and play a bunch of fun games. They did Mad Libs. It was hilarious. Let's talk about the myth-making panel first, because that was the first panel that I went to. Again, wasn't able to film that much of the panel because I forgot my portable charger, so I had to conserve phone battery. I think by the end of the night, my phone actually had a battery of like 18%. So I really went through it there. This is like the one con of using your phone as your camera. Like, yeah, you don't spend like $200 because you've already got like a nice camera on your phone, but your battery goes down, so you need that portable chargerage. And I did not have that at the time because I left it at the hotel after charging it all night in preparation for the event. But anyway, the myth-making panel, that was really fun. I really liked it. So what you saw in the clips actually was Stephanie Garber. She was the moderator, and she was asking the authors a what if question, like the what if that made you decide to write your book. Sort of like how I know Lee Bardugo mentioned once that her what if for the Grishaverse books, the Grisha trilogy, she mentioned once that her what if question was, what if something is lurking in the shadows? What if the shadows are alive? And basically along those lines. I don't remember exactly what she said. I'm paraphrasing. Stephanie Garber actually said that her what if question was random doors popping up in your house. So you'd go to sleep, wake up, and there'd be a new door in your house that you had never seen before, which I actually love that concept. And she said that she was absolutely obsessed with that idea. So that makes me really want to read her books now because I haven't read them. That's another thing about going to these panels is that number one, you learn things. Number two, you come across so many authors that you want to read the books of, like Renee Audier, for example. She was at yallfest last year. She went again this year, and every time I see her, she seems so fun and so great that it makes me want to read her books. And I've been meaning to read her books because of that, because she seems like such a cool person. And that actually ties into the next thing I'm going to talk about. The myth making panel was about creating your mythical fantasy world. And in your mythical fantasy world, you need places, you need your own mythology, you need all of these different things. And Renee Audier actually said that one of her things that she loved about making these different worlds is food. She loved immersing herself in the food. She loved making everything that these characters would eat in her books. And that is very cool, and I like that a lot. Another thing is near the end they ask questions. Someone asked the question of, how do you know when your book is done? And there was an author on the panel. His name was Jimmy. Don't remember his last name. I'll figure out what his last name was and put it in the video over here somewhere. And Jimmy said that he knows when a book is done when it stops bothering him at 3 a.m. And he talked about how, oh, hi, Carter. My dog is here. Look at my doggy. Look at my doggy. Look at my corgi. You want me to put you down? Okay. He mentioned how there was this one book he thought was done, but then he couldn't stop thinking about it and thinking about it, and it kept him up at night. So he decided to look back over it and finish it. Turns out his book just needed another page, and it was done, and it was finished, and he felt good about it. And that also kind of ties in with, like, a lot of time authors, when they write, they don't actually know what's going to happen. Like, as they're writing, it's a surprise to them what's going to happen as much as it is a surprise to you. Some people can plan out their book front to back, know exactly what's going to happen and everything, and there still might be some twists and turns that they didn't expect, and the ending of their book might change as they're writing it. Another thing was, so I have a notebook here full of guidelines for videos, so that way I don't forget things, and I write down things I want to remember to mention. And in here, I have the fish world descriptions. And I know what this means, but basically, Alex London was on this panel. Might have been the reason I went to the panel. But Alex London, he was talking about descriptions in the world. And he was talking about how much description is too much and how much is too little. And one thing that he mentioned is that what he likes to do in his books is when he goes to describe a fish, he mentions a fish and gives a general description, but not all the details. That way the reader can fill in with their own version of a fish, because he likes the idea of having a book that will be a different experience for each person. So when I think of a fish, I think of that one child's book that had like the rainbow fish in it. You know, it was like a rainbow fish, its scales glimmered. I don't remember the name of the book at all, but when I think of fish, that's the first thing I think of. When you think of a fish, you'll think of something else. Like a random fish, you'll think of something else. And so he, like, in these mythical worlds, in these fantasy worlds, he likes, you know, being like, oh, there's a fish, but not giving an actual description of the fish, so that way you can figure it out for yourself. Come up with your own version of a fish and be a little bit creative. And that also goes into, he said that when you're talking about, like, the history of a world that a character lives in, you don't need to give the full description and history of this entire universe and how it came to be. You just need to give the details that affect the character. Because most people don't go throughout their days being like, America was created this way. This is the full history of Europe or whatever. Like, people don't go throughout their day and they don't think about that. You just think about the things that are going to affect you throughout the day. So, for a good example, in Alex London's Proxy, in it, Sid, he sort of explains how his world works by going throughout his day and encountering different things that have to do with the world. So Sid will go throughout his day and do this thing that is specific to the world and then would be explained through Sid's point of view. If that made any sense. If it didn't, I'm sorry. For example, because I don't want to spoil the book because it's a really good book if you have to read it. Good example would be, I go outside to walk my dog. I start to walk my dog, and like, I'm a character in my book, and I'm like, okay, I'm awake, it's time to go walk my dog. So, you know, I get up, I put my shoes on, I go outside, and I walk my dog. I got my dog because my cousin, for a short time, bred corgis, and so she had corgi puppies, and so I was able to get one of them, and that is how I got my dog. gives background and explains how something came to be without overdoing it, basically, is what Alex London was saying, which is very helpful. I think that's about all I had for the myth making panel. They did mention more things, but that was the big ones that I wanted to mention, and I can't really think of any more. So we're gonna move on to the next one. Okay, the next panel that I went to was the Ask Me Anything panel, which I went to last year for the first time because David Levithan is the moderator for it every year. Now, after last year, I decided to go back every year for many reasons. One of the reasons being it's a fun panel. Number two is that there's a whole, there's like a whole panel of authors there, and most of them I never heard of before. And so by going to these panels, I actually come across new authors because I get to know them in this panel and I like them, and then I'm like, oh, I like you, I want to read your books. It's an LGBT panel, and what they do is they pass out note cards at the beginning, and you can ask the authors literally anything you want, and they try to go through and answer as many as they can, as well as they can. Now, there were two very specific people on the panel that stood out, and that was a girl named Sara, and I don't remember her last name, so I will write it in here. She's very cool. I really want to read one of her books because she was so funny throughout the entire panel. Everything she said was hilarious. She is just so naturally funny, and she was also funny at the SmackDown. She was just great. There was Sara, and then also another girl on the panel. Her name was Destiny Sora, I think that's her last name. I'm not 100% sure. I wrote down their first names in my notebook. I didn't write down their last names. I didn't think about that. I probably should have. Oh well. Now, I wanted to mention this panel because I wanted to talk about like one thing in specific that Destiny was talking about, because someone asked a question that was basically like, they were like, I identified as straight, then a lesbian, then bisexual. Was I faking it or something like that? And so Destiny answered it, and she put it this way, that you're always changing as you age and you go throughout life. You're always changing. It's okay to change, use different labels, and you are never faking it, and it's okay to grow. Because she was saying how you identified at one point in your life is valid because that is how you felt at that time. Your feelings can change. As people change, our feelings change about things. We change our opinions on things all the time. It's a completely normal thing to do. Who we are changes throughout the years. Hopefully you're not the same person you were a year ago because you've been growing. Because you should always be trying to change and grow and be a different person, be a better person. Learn more about yourself and all of that jazz. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you used to like this, or you used to hate this, and now you like this, or now you hate this. So clearly you were faking it. And no, you weren't faking it. You just changed your mind. You just learn more about yourself, and you learn that, oh, I don't like this thing like I did, or like I thought I did. And that's perfectly okay. And I wanted to mention that because it's a very important thing to remember. There's like the one thing I wanted to mention about this panel. It was a very fun panel. It always is. You should go and check it out if you want. All of the panels at YALLfest, again, are free. So if you are in the Charleston area and want to swing by at one of the panels, you should check them out because they're lots of fun. And then the SmackDown at the end is, of course, very fun. And the event in general, it's just great. Also, I realized throughout like this entire video, I kept using the word nice to describe authors, but they're just very nice people. Authors are very kind, very sweet, and again, very nice. They're all very nice. The only rude author I've come across has been Cassandra Clare, and that's about it. Literally, everyone else is so sweet and so nice. But also, please check out Sara and Destiny, because they're great. Also, check out Elsie, Rosen, Natasha, Ngan, and, oh, shoot, what was his last name? There's also this guy in the panel called Adib, and he was really cool, too. I will write down all the authors that I recommend down in the description because I can't remember them all. I will look them up later, and yeah. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about at the end of this video here is the free stuff that I got. I did not get a lot of free stuff this year. I got more last year, but it was free stuff all the same. So we're gonna start with the books that I actually got at YALLfest, because I also got some stuff from people who were attending YALLfest, like just giving free bookmarks away and stuff like that. So these are the actual books that I got at YALLfest because they give away free books. They are like the, oh shoot, where is it? Oh wow, these are like actual books this year. Okay. A lot of these are pre-sale books, so they're not on sale yet, but they will be. And then one of these is an uncorrected book. But anyway, okay. I got more of the uncorrected books last year. So like these are just actual like straight up books. All right. So first there is Field Notes on Love by Jennifer Ann Smith. This is the advanced reader's copy, not for sale. Ooh. Utterly romantic, said Jenny Han. I trust Jenny Han. Oh. I read the author name wrong. It's Jennifer E. Smith. I read it Jennifer Ann Smith. Slow clap. Come Find Me by Megan Miranda. Ooh. Again, advanced reader's copy. Nice. All right. Danger is closer than you think. Ooh. How to Make Friends with the Dark, a novel, advanced reader's copy. Kathleen Glasgow. All right, and then we have Rain and Delilah's Midnight Matinee. Again, advanced reader's copy. And this is by Jeff Zentner. Probably should have gone through and like read these beforehand, but oh well. This is the uncorrected proof, The Love and Lies of Rook. I'm going to butcher this name. I'm so sorry. Rukhsana, I don't know. I'm so sorry. By Sabina Khan. Yeah. And those are the free books that I got from the actual event, and I can't read. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce names and stuff. So next, I actually got some bookmarks. They're not super exciting, they're just bookmarks. I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a good book. J.K. Rowling. It's a cute little bookmark. It was by Whimsify, a book subscription box for YA fantasy lovers. I got another one like that, which is by the bookie bookmarks thing, which it's a Divergent bookmark. They were passing around a box that had different kinds of bookmarks in them, and so I got this one because it was in the Veronica Roth line. So I got Fear Doesn't Shut You Down, it makes you wake up. It wakes you up. I know how to read. It's just a Divergent bookmark, but this is the one. I picked it out because I was in line for Veronica Roth, so it made sense. They were passing around the box, and then they also had a bookmark in the box that was a unicorn, and I asked if I could take that one for my friend Ashley. And then also this one by Completely Melanie, who's a booktuber who I mentioned in the first Yallfest video. Those are all the bookmarks, and then the last thing I got actually was a candle by the Bookie Box People bookmark candle people things. And it's a Grisha themed darkling candle, which is like very, very cool. A fig and honey soy candle. It's a homemade candle. And it has glitter inside of it. It's a glitter candle. I have no idea how this smells. I haven't lit it yet. I didn't want to light it until I made a video and showed off the glittery bits in case it caught on fire and burned my house down or something. But it smells nice. Okay, that concludes Yallfest for this year. Yallfest 2018 concluded. It was a fun time, a great time. Can't wait to go back next year. Yeah, I miss it. It was fun. It was good. And I will see you guys later in the next video. Thank you for watching if you did. You should give this video a thumbs up because it helps me. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourselves and had a good time. And I hope this was entertaining. I just spit on myself. Yeah. Okay. Bye.